Live from the Texas Cheerlickers Studios. It's In the Building with Mike Taylor and Rudy J.
All right, I think this is a show that we're doing.
I think. Oh, we're gonna have to figure this out.
We good to go?
3, 4, 5.
Excellent.
9.
All right, we got 5 dudes in here. 6 if you count Buki. Some days I
I
don't.
don't count Boogie.
Welcome. It is a special In the Building out of nowhere that I forgot to tease, but here we are. We
I
teased yesterday.
I teased
Did
it.
you post
I
something?
posted it.
All right, well, we're here. And if you subscribe to the channel, you get a notification that we're doing something anyway. So welcome in here. It is, as we come on, it's 12:40-ish. We got the Final Four today, and so we thought we'd pop in here and bring in our boys, the Baseline Bums.
What's up, fellas? What up? What up, bums?
This is
Finally here. I've been on the chat for most of the time, so I'm glad to finally get in front of the camera.
Yeah, AJ is a bum. We got Matt, and we got a guy called Rob. This
Matt,
is the
Rob.
Bums. Yeah.
And AJ.
We got all 5 up in here. You good, man?
Yeah.
You know, I'm not used to starting doing Saturdays. I've gotten so spoiled in my career that the idea of having to work on a Saturday
It
pisses
must
me
be
off.
nice. I started on Saturdays on the ticket,
Y'all, and what time was that show?
11 to 1.
Damn, like a weekly wrap up. Oh, I did plenty of Saturdays way back in the
Oh,
day.
okay.
But Rudy, that's when the guys from the golf course will be coming out, and they'll be jumping on and turning on the radio. And
No,
hear your face.
it was highly rated.
Yeah,
I was on it. But no, it sucked.
Well, sometimes you got to work on the weekend.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
I'm kidding. Like, this is cool. I'm glad we're doing this. I wanted to do it. We're from Pub Sports Radio, and when this is over, we're gonna take off and we're gonna walk to the Alamo.
We're gonna
Dome.
walk.
We're gonna walk to the Alamo.
We just did
Dome
that walk.
because I don't
We
want
did.
to.
Where?
We'll get there faster.
We went to
if we
Cafe
drive.
Olay
Oh.
on the Riverwalk. There was a recent story that happened there. I'm not going to get into it, but we did a nice little setup, and we asked some people, some questions. We saw a lot of Auburn people right now. There's a lot. Auburn travels hard, man.
So many Auburn people,
So
and
many.
a surprisingly small amount of Houston fans. I'm not sure what's going on. Maybe they're waiting until
No,
later
Houston
afternoon.
just shows up to the game. They're not coming outside.
I mean, you got to show up and party a little bit. This is Final Four.
Houston's bougie.
Well, if you want to do some stereotypes, those young
There you
boys
go.
from Houston ain't got the money to come to the Final Four.
Here you go.
And all
They got a little money, Mike.
That's a private school, Rob. We ain't no downtown commuter school in Auburn. So you bet your ass we travel with it.
You're right. Yo, Jeff's right. Y'all should have took scooters.
That's true.
There was
mean,
a
we
couple, but they were a little sketchy.
Mike hates
Right.
scooters.
And
Don't
I
do it.
got a $10,000 camera with me. I'm not hopping on a scooter.
Yo,
with that.
why do we need to know the price?
Because I need you to know why I'm not
Why
hopping
you
on a
didn't
scooter.
take a scooter?
Now you're gonna get robbed by some dude from Houston.
Let them come at me. Let them come at me. I'm trying to rob
Oh,
Rob.
them motherfuckers from Houston. The ones that are here ain't got a ticket. They came to watch Pitbull last night.
You tell me the Duke guys are going to rob us? Okay.
Yeah. Although they'll clear out by Chris Stapleton here in a little while. Who the hell's going to be at that? That's what I want to know. So call me stupid. I had no idea. Is this every year where you have concerts near the Final Four while the games?
This is
while
the
the games
first.
are going on?
As far as San Antonio, I can't speak
Yeah.
on other cities. As far as San Antonio,
Mhm.
Capital One, shout out to them.
Yep.
They put all
It's in
this
your
on.
wallet.
Mhm.
They paid the artists so San Antonio could pull up for free.
Right, but they're having the shows during the games. I guess
Who
it's for
gives a-
chicks that
you
don't
know
care
why?
about basketball.
Because so
Right.
my brother-in-law, Florida grad, we talked
Mhm.
about him.
Yeah.
Second tier was $1,000.
Ooh.
Damn.
Nosebleeds was 300.
Mhm.
So who can afford that if for some teams that you don't give a shit about?
Yeah.
Right.
So how can I keep the city involved and engaged?
No, it's great.
You
Yeah,
put
I'll-
T-Pain at
I'll put-
Aztec.
And I put I saw Jelly Roll's 18-wheeler right there. So you give Capital One, shout out to y'all for making my city look good. Give a free concert because who can afford second tier? Again, second tier.
Yeah.
I'm not even talking about the lower bowl.
Right.
Second tier, $1,000. My
Well,
brother-in-law was like, I'll see you next time.
right. And had this been, Memphis or Creighton or somebody,
It'd
it
be
wouldn't be that
220.
much. We got 4 number 1
It'd be
seeds
220
back.
for floor seats. If
Yeah.
it was Florida Atlantic
Mhm.
and San
Yeah.
Diego State,
Yep.
it'd be 220 for floor seats.
We're an enchanted city when it comes to big events because
What do you mean?
because we treat people well, especially the NCAA.
Oh,
We know
Yeah,
how to
we do.
put something on.
they love us up here.
They
man.
love us.
They love us down
And
here.
That's
Love
the reason
us.
why they're like, well, let's just San Antonio puts on a damn good show.
Well, if Tech would have made it to the Final Four, the tickets would have been lower too.
Whoa.
They'd have had more than
Oh,
Houston.
but
They would've-
That was a low blow.
They're
Right there.
probably-
Wow, Rudy.
If Tech would have made the Final Four, you could probably show it with a can
So-
of beans and a
Ooh,
Sprite can.
Ooh, sounds like you
As long as you had a
want-
can good,
Sounds like
if
you
you
want to
had a-
trade Victor Wembanyama for Cooper
if you had a
Flag.
can good, you could get into a Texas Tech Final Four with a can good. It would have done a food drive.
Mm,
There
mm.
we go.
All right,
a
here we go.
consistent
All right,
Elite
all right,
8
well.
team. There we go.
Well, I mean, I will say this: it was fun to see the Tech people on the Riverwalk and talking to them, and getting to chat with some of these people. And
There was a good amount of them.
there was a decent amount of them. There was a decent amount of everyone except for Houston. I don't know where Houston's at, but still,
Houston is in their rooms eating brunch. They'll be at the game.
That's fine.
Houston's bougie.
yeah. Well, Auburn showed up and they're ready to drink. They're
Dude,
they're
who-
gonna be
Who can
Queued
sit
up.
in their mobile home for 10 hours? You got to get out the mobile home.
You know what the endowment is at the University of Auburn?
Oh, my bad.
That is $1 billion
Oh, my bad.
university. Hey, don't label us Auburn Tigers
My bad.
based on the neighborhood.
I'm sorry.
Once you get inside the walls, it's just the grass is
I
green.
like being
I'm
inside the walls.
still never gonna understand War Eagle and why you're a tiger. I can't understand that.
Well, you're not supposed to.
I know
You
I'm
got
not.
tumbleweeds and bad water.
And cactus, you forgot that. Or
Cactus.
cacti.
Cacti.
There we go.
Cacti. But I mean, hey man, we've had a good time. We've talked to some really cool people. Some of the Auburn people have been just absolutely fun to talk to. The Duke people have been really good too. One
Are they
question,
bougie?
no, they're sweet.
A little bit delusional.
Delusional,
a little
for sure.
bit delusional,
Duke
but
people?
Yeah.
What's
I'm
delusional?
not- yeah.
at
that's
this
not
because like we said earlier, we had asked a couple of people about the trading Wembanyama for Cooper Flag.
Why are y'all stealing my content?
Well, because you were the one bringing it up, and we had a lot of pushback for it. So we wanted to see what the general public was thinking,
Oh.
and they had a lot of pushback as well. So it was pretty validating that
We'll-
your take was.
We'll edit that video and we'll show it.
yeah,
Okay.
I'll love you
it'll
hard.
be-
Yeah,
it'll be
tag me.
released. Yeah,
what
yes.
NBA player do you guys think Cooper Flag most mirrors? We've been talking about that's what led to that
Yeah.
conversation with me.
Well,
and
well,
Rudy.
we were
This-
having a talk earlier, and he was saying, like, do you compare him to like a player like Paulo Banchero? And I was saying that I don't think he's at that stage yet in terms of a skill set. In terms of efficiency, he's there. But I really only view it as a couple of teams that Cooper Flag goes to where he's immediately the best player. Like, I think most situations he goes to, he's playing second fiddle. Of course, if he goes to the Wizards, he goes to Utah, he's immediately the best player. But most of the teams in the NBA, he's going to have to learn how to be the second best guy on a team, and he's going to have to learn how to supplement winning in that way. And I love his production, but his skill set still worries me if he's going to be the best player on your NBA franchise.
White on white crime. I hate to see it.
No, I think it's just watching basketball and seeing things like when I was watching the Alabama game and he got switched off onto Sears, and I saw him face up against a 6'1" guard, 6'1" off-ball guard, and he had to put the ball on the ground 1-2 times, and then he resorted to bully ball, backing down,
You know
backing
why?
down.
But you know why? Because when you're college, it's tough to evaluate a player. Like, perfect example, Trae Young, awful tournament
Right.
because of boxing one, because you got guys just sitting in the lane. So it's the same thing with Cooper. Like, it's a whole different thing what he's seeing. Like, yeah, we see the guy in front of him, but there's a guy cheating here, there's a guy cheating there. Trae Young looked awful in the tournament. He looked
Right.
awful. So when you're in college, you can't really, you got to see without seeing, which is when you really know ball. When you really know ball and you can see that there's ways you can cheat and there's defenses that you can play in college that you can't play. NBA, you got to get out the lane. So it's a little bit different.
And Rudy, who's in the lane on defense?
But what I'm saying is that if Cooper, if his plan A is put the ball on the ground, 1 dribble, 2 dribble, try to take my defender, and he resorts to bully ball, that off-ball guard isn't going to be 6'1" in the NBA. That's going to be Jaylen
No.
Brown. That's going to be Jimmy Butler on the wing. He's going to be switched off onto.
Well, that's
You're
two
not-
nights. That's 2 nights.
you're-
There's
you're-
82 nights.
All I'm saying is it doesn't matter. That off-ball guard is going to be 6'6", 6'7", not 6'1", 190 like you saw with Alabama. You're not going to be able to back down, little 8-foot baby hook on
Fair.
people in the NBA. And that worries me if his plan A gets foiled and that's his immediate plan B. So I would like a guy that has a little bit more of a diverse skill set. That's all I'm
True.
saying.
He smashed when he was at the USA basketball camp 2 years ago.
He did.
Now, granted, those guys are practicing; they're rolling through drills. And
They're
getting
chilling.
ready for
They're
the
chilling. They're
Olympics.
chilling, Mike.
But he
You right.
kicked their ass.
Oh, yeah.
He did a great job.
He's very
And-
much a
and
37.
guys
Yeah.
that were there, like KD said, he's had Jason Tatum like ability. Scottie Pippen has been brought up for comparisons for history.
As long don't compare him to a white guy. That's all I care about. Like
well,
that's lazy.
well, there's no white guys
That's
ever
lazy.
come into the league.
If
since
Jay
birth
Billis
that
says
had
he's
that
the
kind
best freshman,
He's also a kid.
I love
y'all.
this room. I love this room, but I take Jay Billis' word more than anybody in this room.
He's
Sure.
a Duke.
And if Jay Billis says he's the best freshman ever in Duke history, I love this room, but I'm gonna take
Well,
Jay Billis' word.
Well, with Duke freshmen, like Kyrie's in that conversation, right?
No,
Hold
he's
on,
not.
hold on,
No,
hold
he's
on.
not. He played,
I'm
he played
gonna
3
asterisk-
games.
That's my asterisk. He only played 8 games in the entire season. So he also has the most points scored by a Dookie in the NBA.
Yeah.
So is
What,
it's-
60 something?
uh,
Well, Dookies don't translate over in the NBA. Most
Oh,
of the
what was
time.
that, Rudy?
Dookies don't translate over in
Dookies
the
don't
NBA.
translate.
Mm.
in
Grant
the
Hill
NBA.
would have if he didn't have staff.
Thanks for saying that. Appreciate it.
It's like I love his production. I love what he does. It's just how he does it leads me to believe that he's going to have a little bit of pushback if he's your
He
best
will.
player. If he goes to Washington, he's the best. If he goes to Utah or the fucking
Well,
Nets, he's the best.
I think you're overrating today's NBA. Today's NBA, I saw a night last week where 3 teams scored over 145. No one gives a shit. Nobody gives a shit on defense. So you're talking about an NBA that cared about defense. I'm talking about the NBA that I'm seeing where the MIT guys and the Yale guys and the Columbia guys say, fuck defense, get back up the floor and shoot a 3. Cooper's going to thrive in that sense.
I get what you're saying.
Nobody cares.
No,
There's about 3 teams that care about defense.
yeah. Oh, I get what you're saying. The problem is he's going to a team that's going to be dog shit, and they're not going to get better overnight.
Like the
And-
Spurs.
Well, no, because we're going to get KD.
I don't want anything to do with that.
I don't want KD.
Now you're gonna piss me off.
What? What?
No, we
Go ahead,
don't want KD. But I also feel like we're in a position right now where we get Victor back, we have De'Aaron Fox, and we have a full season of those two just duo together.
Yeah.
I mean, we'll see what happens and who we can put around him, and also at the end of the day, who's going to be our head coach? You know, who's going to be the one that's going to be managing all these personalities?
I think that's been Mike's biggest
and
question.
that's my biggest question too, is who's going to be manning the team and going from here. But with Cooper Flagg, I mean, he can go to a really shitty situation, and it's not going to be until a second, maybe third contract where we finally see the real Cooper Flagg.
Unless he's smart and does what smart guys do and go and tell his agent, get me out of this shithole organization.
Which like if he goes to Charlotte or the
Correct.
Wizards,
The
or
day
whatever.
if I'm Cooper Flagg and Charlotte drafts me, the day they
I do
pick me,
not want to play with
I begin
LaMelo
the
Ball.
process of getting.
I don't
out
want
of
to
there.
play with the black hole.
I don't want to play in that
LaMelo Ball.
organization. There's
I don't wanna
7
play
or
with that
8
ball.
organizations in the NBA that shouldn't fucking exist. They should
Yep.
be relegated, and we should get on with business
I'm
in
fine with that, too.
2025 and get rid of these fucking leeches that suck around the rest of the NBA like sharks because of the money that TV gets everybody,
Mm.
and they have no inclination of ever winning.
Yep.
Cooper Flagg will be a bust if he goes to a dog shit organization unless he's smart and he gets out of there, like Zion Williamson needs to do at that shithole New
But
Orleans
it's his
as
fault,
soon as
Mike.
possible.
It's
Yeah,
his
but
fault, Mike.
yeah, you're right. But I think,
He's-
there's you mentioned Duke freshmen that have been good, and Zion popped
he
into
was
my
solid.
head.
He was solid.
I think he's being underdeveloped, and I think he's around a bunch of idiots that don't know what the hell they're doing. I'd like to see Zion play for an organization
Yep.
that was legit,
Yep.
and then you could say, okay, it is your fault you're fat. You know, it is your fault you're lazy, you're injury prone, and that's all fair. But I mean, dude, I say that we've talked about this for years. So much depends. And it's still talking about Cooper Flagg and what he's going to be. So much depends on simply who you work for.
Yep.
Who
Yeah.
drafts me? Which I hate the fucking draft that we have in this country. I don't know why our pro sports have drafts. I wish we could go to European soccer and you sign with whoever the hell you want. That's free. That's a free will
Is that what he said?
society.
Is that what you say,
That's
man?
a free will society. It's bullshit that I'm an 18-year-old kid and I have no say so where I'm about to spend the next 15 years of my life professionally. That's not America. That ain't America. So if Flag goes to Charlotte or somebody like that, yeah, he may be a slow developer, but I think he's going to be great ultimately. I think Cooper Flag has multi-all-star level ability. He's 19 years old and he's already the player of the year. He's been dominant in the tournament. I know you can't just take 3 games of a tournament and size up a guy like Trae Young, but Cooper Flag has whooped ass these last 2 weeks
Absolutely.
with a bum foot.
Absolutely.
I think he's
Well,
great. Now, I don't agree with the Wemby thing, but I
know you
don't
don't.
think it's a crazy notion.
No one does.
I don't think it's
2%
the
of the
craziest
people,
notion. And part of that is, and I said this yesterday, I've been to 4 Spurs games since we drafted Wemby.
Yep.
He's played in one of them.
Yeah.
He's
fair.
not available enough.
Your best ability is what?
Availability.
Yeah.
And he's not. And I'm starting to worry about him.
And I have to treat him like a trading card. When you have a valuable trading card, what do you do with it? Let me move it over here. Let me check the temperature. Let me clean it. Let me make sure. Yeah. I don't want to have to do that with my.
But we don't. We've consistently seen that we don't have to do that. You're acting like he was injured. This is a health problem that is not injury related.
I don't. Hey,
It's
Rob. I hear
worrisome, Rob.
Rob.
He's young
I
to be
don't.
having a
I,
blood
it's not.
clot.
I don't care what it is.
But so was Asar Thompson.
Okay.
So was Serena Williams when she was young. and
First
had
of
the
all,
blood
let's
clot.
not compare Wemby to the
No,
Thompsons because both of the Thompsons are in the playoffs.
All
right, both of the
nothing
Thompsons.
to do with a blood clot. What are
What
we
I'm
getting
saying,
at?
what I'm saying is, like he said, the year he played 70 games, they won 20 games.
Right. And if you're expecting a 19-year-old to go to a new franchise to win games, I think you're a little bit misguided.
I'm not misguided. I'm just saying, like, when you tank for somebody for 3 years, you expect to win more than 20 games.
I think it's a little deeper.
I don't
Rudy.
even care. It's not even the fact. Okay, you can miss the playoffs. It's the West. The West is deeper than the East. That's fair. 70 games.
Rudy, who do we have last year?
Oh my God.
Nobody.
So then why are we? So then what's the big deal about
Rudy.
me? So then what is the
No,
issue?
here it is.
So then
I'll
what's
tell
the
you.
issue with wanting to move somebody that can only win 20
I
games?
tell you what it is, and I've been listening to you for a long time.
That's fair.
I'm a fan.
A lot of people have.
Yeah, I know.
It's a big day in San Antonio. Rudy's got his confidence shirt on.
Yeah. I like your shirt though. I really
I
do.
do too.
It's better than the romper. Anyway, so I was gonna tell you, I've been listening to you for a long time.
Yeah.
You just don't like Euro players, man.
Huh.
It started with Tony Parker, and I've heard your rants before. It's a European thing for you, and I feel that whenever
That's not true. I love Joker.
do you?
I'm not crazy
Do
about.
you?
Oh, this is what I'll say. He's listed as a center, right? I'm not. David, the last time I saw him against a real center in the bubble, he got his ass handed to him. He got his ass handed to him by past his prime Dwight Howard.
Before he was
Dwight,
an NBA champion.
Dwight Howard had him shook.
But he was an NBA champion after that, right?
Yes,
Okay.
against two. Who played center for the Miami Heat?
Bam.
6'7" Bam Adebayo.
He's not 6'7".
He's
6'8".
6'9".
Okay.
Come on,
Okay. Oh, sorry.
He's
I'm
Cooper
sorry.
Flag's height.
I'm sorry. But
He's
he's
Cooper
Cooper Flag's
Flag's
not
height.
listed as a center.
Nah.
All I'm saying is if I put David Robinson on Joker, it's a different ball game. I love Joker, but what I'm saying is he's playing in a watered down center.
Excuse me. Jokic cooks David Robinson. I'll say that on this podcast right now. Jokic cooks David Robinson. I'm sorry. I have Jokic absolutely putting
You are high.
most
90
centers who are used to defending in the paint
high.
aren't
You're
used to getting stepped
You're
out
high.
6-8 feet.
David can go coast to coast. You're high. You're high.
No.
You're high. You're high.
No, I
You're
just
high.
watch
And he's in
basketball.
foul trouble against Shaq. Okay. He's in foul trouble against Shaq. He doesn't play defense, and that's okay. No one does. No one in this era plays defense. It's a whole different era. But he's listed as a center. He cannot. There's no way in hell he can guard Hakeem. Hakeem cooks him. Fried. Hibachi Joker.
But why do you bring up the Hakeem?
I'm talking
up
about
against Jokic.
because he's a center. He's a center.
But
is he a center?
Absolutely. But I think that Hakeem is nowhere near the level of a playmaker and offensive player that Jokic is.
No, not from the out.
Nowhere near. Hakeem's offense was actually limited. If you
Hakeem has a mid-range and a post game. The only thing that separates Joker is his 3-ball. Hakeem has
his 3-ball, his efficiency. You can't gloss over.
No, I'm not
glossing
it over, but
at the highest volume. Yeah, you can't gloss that.
So
over.
Then is he going to get 5 like Tim?
No, I think that's largely dependent on the team you have.
Tim made Manu and Tony better. Tony is not a Hall of Famer without Tim Duncan. Manu's not a Hall of Famer without Tim Duncan.
Here's the goalpost moving.
The goalpost isn't moving.
Here's the goalpost.
The goalpost ain't moving. The goalpost ain't moving. The goalpost ain't moving. It's a fact. If Tony Parker gets drafted by the Detroit Pistons, we forget about him. He's not getting 5 rings. So when y'all comparing him, look, I love Joker, but I feel like there's a little bit of glazing going on as well. There's some glazing going on as well. He's not doing that. He's not doing what Tim did. Tim played center and power forward and led his team to 5 championships. Should have been 6.
You're talking about a guy who's a top 3 player, though.
But that's how you treating Joker.
I'm treating him like he's a top 15 player, like around where David Robinson is. That's what
he's
I'm saying.
He's not cooking Dave. He's not cooking Dave.
All I'm saying is he brings Dave out 8 to 10 feet from the paint. And David Robinson's defense completely changes.
And you ain't talking about him having to guard Dave. That's what I'm saying. The only thing y'all talk about when y'all talk about Joker is offense. Y'all never talk about him having to guard somebody. And again, when the last time he played a real center, Dwight Howard had him pissing his pants. Dwight Howard, 2020, past his prime, had Joker pissing his pants.
Hall of Famer Dwight Howard?
Who isn't a Hall of Famer in the NBA? You would be.
Oh,
there's high school coaches.
I love that.
There's high school coaches that are Hall of Famers in the NBA. It's not the NBA Hall of Fame, by the way. It's the Basketball Hall of Fame. The last real center he played had him shook. He played like shit against Dwight Howard. Dwight Howard followed him to the restroom, followed him to the bench, followed him to the locker room, and Joker had no answer for him. No answer for him.
Except for being a champion afterwards.
Yes, he was a champion afterwards. He was. Right. He was.
Yeah.
He was. And so
when I say that Jokic is better than a guy like David Robinson,
he's not.
It's because David Robinson didn't do that.
As a center?
David Robinson wasn't the best player on a championship team. He did not spearhead.
As a center.
He did not spearhead a Spurs championship.
David Robinson was playing in probably the greatest era ever.
All I'm saying is that if
you saying that Joker would cook David Robinson is blasphemy.
No, it's not. He brings him out 8 feet. What is David Robinson's defense?
Does Joker make the dream team?
Yes, with ease.
High.
With ease.
You're high.
With ease, he makes the dream.
Started with you asking Rudy if he hates European.
Wait, hold on a second. Patrick Ewing was on the dream team, correct?
What's wrong with that?
Jokic walks circles around Patrick Ewing.
In that era?
Dog walks him.
In that era?
Literally puts him on a leash and dog walks Patrick Ewing.
In that era? In that era?
Yes, absolutely.
I don't know about that.
What are we talking about here?
I thought we were talking about Cooper Flag. All right. Did a tournament? Our competition literally comes down to Duke Houston, does it not?
It sure
all right,
does.
because there's 10 points difference. That's it. Because y'all had Houston winning the title.
Correct.
We have Duke.
Yep.
All right.
I'm still very confident in it.
So it comes down to this game.
It does.
Cool. Do you think Houston beats Duke?
I do. I just think they're
really.
As someone who watches the Big 12, they're so good on defense.
They are.
And the only loss that they have in the Big 12 is a 1-point loss to Texas Tech. So I feel like their defense is going to be stifling. I think Cooper Flag is going to be out of his element tonight, but he's such a good player that he could easily figure that out. But also,
I wouldn't be shocked if Houston beats Duke.
I wouldn't be either. I mean,
they're shocked. No,
they're a very scrappy team.
I'm pulling for Houston,
and we'll see what happens. But
I'm pulling for Houston. I hope Houston.
I just hope the Houston fans show up, man. Like, not many out there.
I don't know what you're worried about that for. It's not. First of all, how many students do they have of that? How many people go to Houston? At the U of H?
20.
I thought it was way more than that.
Is it more?
Yeah, I think it's like 40 or something.
Is it? I have
I
no
want to say
idea.
it's a pretty big school.
We'll
What you
be
got, Boogie?
we'll be there tonight. We'll see what the representation is. All right.
I would say Auburn by far. There's
Yeah.
Auburn shirts all over the place. Charles Barkley jerseys all over the place. You're not you throw a stone and you're gonna hit an Auburn.
What's the
fan.
average age on that team?
Auburn.
20.
23, 24 at least.
It's
Yeah.
insane.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
insane.
By the way, for everyone's records, 47,000.
Yeah. I
For
was about to
who?
say it's-
For who?
Houston.
Yeah.
47.
They're well, man. No tickets expensive. I don't know. Who knows? Who knows why y'all haven't seen them?
They might be hungover. I don't know. We'll see.
I hope so.
Or
San Antonio-
driving in today since it's
Yeah.
close.
Yeah, that could be it too. But there's definitely electricity on the Riverwalk right now,
Yeah.
and that's been so much fun. Like we'll cut this up, but we've been talking to people and they're excited. Their first time in San Antonio. They love San Antonio. They're like, this is some place we definitely want to come back and vacation to.
And we actually talked to somebody that was here
In-
17 years
In
ago.
'99, yeah,
Or no,
98.
well, I thought he was here
No,
in
it was
2008.
2008.
I thought he was here in 2008.
17 years.
Yeah, and
25 minus 17.
and he
is
was saying
We
that
didn't cover
this
that
is
stat.
this is one of the best
I did.
cities. This is one of the best cities for the Final Four, and he said he was consistently going to almost every Final Four.
Yeah, shout out to that guy because he was the video guy for Duke,
He was the video guy for Duke.
and so he was like, "This is the best location for it."
because
So-
you don't have because you get to walk everywhere.
You walk everywhere, but also like we're not going to have another one until we redo our downtown. So we got to get that squared away before we get another one. But hopefully that's an easy vote and we can go from here.
All right.
Don't get me started on that one.
I think it's hard to call these two games, which is why this is what I said earlier. Like
And
it's
that's a
cool that
good thing.
our city puts on great performances and we get damn good teams. We got lucky again with these 4 number ones back in town. Both these games I think are
I can't
close.
remember. Was the last one good? Yeah, it
Dude,
was.
yeah, overtime in the Natty.
Yeah.
yeah. And John
Yeah.
Calipari pulled
Memphis,
John,
Kansas.
and John Calipari went John Calipari and fucked up.
Well, Derrick Rose when Derrick Rose
yeah.
can't shoot free throws.
Derrick
Yeah.
Rose can't shoot free throws. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, KU won that. Remember who was that? Was it Russell? So UCLA had Kevin Love and Russ Westbrook. Carolina had Danny Green. They had Tyler Hansbrough, who was the Player of the Year,
Oh shit.
and then that Memphis team had Derrick Rose. Yeah, and then Kansas had what? Brandon.
wasn't that Westbrook and Kevin? Yeah, Westbrook.
Yeah,
Kevin Love,
yeah, man, it's badass.
Kansas had Mario Chalmers.
Yeah. Mario
Chalmers.
fucking Chalmers.
Mario Chalmers, a natty and a world champion on the NBA
Mhm.
side.
That's true.
Couple of them.
That's true.
And Joker's
And-
the Joker's the best skilled big man of all time, by the way.
And Mario Chalmers also called out
Saying.
LeBron James and called him a bitch. So
Who got called a bitch?
LeBron
He
James.
said he bitched too much.
Oh,
Calling somebody-
Sorry.
That's
Sorry,
like
is
me
that
saying
different?
I can't. If I say you're bitching, that don't mean I called you a bitch.
I'm pretty sure Mario Chalmers called him a bitch. Like
He
and,
said-
and,
Quit bitching and guard Paul George.
and that's when he got mad.
Yeah, that's when he got mad.
Fair enough. I thought he called him a bitch, and I was like, damn, Mario Chalmers,
Nah,
big
Mario.
balls.
Those aren't mutually exclusive, though. You can be bitching and be a bitch.
Fair enough.
Depends
like
on
it.
who you're
I
talking
bitch
to.
all the time.
I do too.
I ain't no bitch.
Oh,
I do
easy.
too.
All right, that's it. We're gonna walk to the fan
We
fest.
walking?
Walking up to the fan fest.
I want to Uber.
Be looking for us. You go right ahead and Uber.
Nah, I'll walk
I'll
with
go
you.
get content.
Catch us on scooters.
Nah, I ain't gonna be on no
Fuck
scooter.
that. Anybody on a scooter, I'm knocking them over.
Wow,
I hate those
Michael.
things. I don't like those things.
I know you bitched a lot about that to
I
the
don't like
city
it.
when we had a bunch
Well,
of them
we're
laying
the
around.
fattest fucking city in the country. Let's walk for one. Let's walk to the fan fest. Check that out, and then around 3:00 we'll head over to the Alamo Dome. All right, that's it. We're done. Good shite. Thank you. We done. Thank you to Rob. Thank you to AJ. Thank you to Matt. This is the Baseline Bums. What do y'all drop? At least 2 a week. Some days, some weeks 3. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
They're gonna keep cooking into the playoffs and all that
Oh, yeah.
stuff.
I'm
Oh
sorry,
yeah, we
David.
got a lot
Sorry.
of great episodes coming up. We got some mini documentaries coming up. We got a lot
I've heard
of.
about these mini documentaries.
Oh yeah, I've got a couple of them already made, cut together.
Dude, I
a few
look
more on the
forward
way. Oh yeah.
Awesome. All right, very good. That's it. We're done. Love y'all hard. We'll see you on In the Building on Monday. When do y'all drop another Baseline Bums?
Oh, Wednesday?
Yeah, we got one
Okay.
dropping Wednesday.
All right, Wednesday on the Bums. We'll be back
Apologize to
Monday. David Robinson was known as a giant pussy the first 10 years of his career. And I was living in Dallas, just saying. That's all I know. I don't know about y'all talking about the best players on the planet. Somebody's
Hibachi.
cooking, folks. Okay, I mean, I love pizza. I love tacos. So I'm not gonna sit up here and have a fight over who's better.
I'm not gonna call David Robinson a P word. Because
I said that was his
because I'm not-
reputation. Rudy.
because I'm not in the conversation. I'm not gonna call David a P word.
Okay, that was hard. I'm a reporter. I report the news, and then the news those days, people said that a lot about him. Fair or not,
No,
fair
call him a
enough.
P word, but okay.
we call him a champion when Timmy Duncan showed up.
Right.
All right, that's it. We're done. See y'all Monday. Thank you, Bouquet.
Peace.